Hello and welcome to Your World. I'm Stephanie Silitonga and let's begin the first segment of Your World. Now we begin our first segment of Your World. Still from the Gaza Strip, as thousands of Palestinians rolled out demonstrations and protests in cities across the West Bank since Sunday, issuing an appeal to international community for immediate actions to stop war and starvation in Gaza. Meanwhile, Foreign Affairs Minister Sugiono emphasized that Indonesia will always be on the forefront in defending the people of Palestine who've been suffering due to Israel's oppressions. And here is the report.
Demonstrations launched ahead of National and International Day in support of Gaza and the prisoners. Demonstrations coincided with a commercial strike from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Sunday, affirming broad participation of all segments of society in conveying their voice to the world. Organizers and participants said they will continue their peaceful demonstrations in the future and raise voices until the world acts to achieve justice for the Palestinian people. In a rare move, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese spoken with head of Palestinian Authority over the phone as the government inches closer to officially recognizing a state of Palestine. It comes as Foreign Minister Penny Wong warns there may not be a Palestine left to recognize if international community doesn't push for a two-state solution. Youssef Al-Amer was martyred in the town of Kabatia, south of Jenin, after Israeli occupation forces surrounded an agricultural room in the town and fired bullets and energa grenades at it, completely destroying it. The martyr was inside. From Geneva, despite tactical pauses Israel introduced last week to allow some safe passage for humanitarian convoys, the amount of aid that has entered Gaza remains by far insufficient for the starving population, and UN trucks continue to face impediments on their way to delivering aid. The shortages are not limited to food. On Monday, the UN was able to collect about 200,000 liters of much-needed fuel from the Kerem Shalom crossing, but the limited quantities that have entered Gaza in the last week are far from enough, according to the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, or OCHA. Water, sanitation, and hygiene operations continue to be severely hampered by the lack of fuel. Only 29,000 liters have been received so far, while some 70,000 liters of fuel are needed every day for emergency operations. Since August 1st, World Health Organization brought 36 trucks of medical supplies and 1 cold chain trucks with 12 pallets of blood into Gaza. The items include essential medicines, trauma and surgery supplies, treatment for non-communicable diseases, and laboratory and water testing supplies. They will be transported to health facilities and health partners in the coming days, who urges for the continued facilitation of a sustained, uninterrupted, and scaled-up flow of health aid. With coordination and help of Jordanian armed forces, 34 pediatric patients from Gaza Strip arrived in Jordan for medical treatment on Wednesday. The children were accompanied by 95 of their family members and will be treated in line with Jordan's highest medical care standards under the coordination of Jordan's Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization. 7 of the group will be treated in Jordan's King Hussein Cancer Center, and the rest will be transferred to Spain, Turkey, the US, and France for further medical care. This is the 8th group of Gazan patients received by Jordan since the Jordan-Gaza Medical Corridor functioned. Jordan's authority noted that the country has received a total of 379 Gazans under the initiative, including 119 patients and 260 accompanying relatives. Speaking in a speech during a pro-Palestine rally at the National Monument area in Jakarta on Sunday, Foreign Affairs Minister Sugiono said Palestinian people are not alone as their struggle continues to receive attention from the entire Indonesian population. He added Indonesia has strong emotional connection with Palestine and wishes that Palestinian people to experience the same freedom as experienced by Indonesian nation. Minister Sugiono explained Indonesia is actively supporting Palestine through various concrete actions, such as advocacy at the international forums and distributing humanitarian aid. He said hundreds of billions of rupiah and millions of dollars been distributed to Palestine as expression of solidarity from Indonesia. Still from Indonesia, the government will soon send 10,000 tons of rice to Palestine as humanitarian aid to help out Palestinians due to blockade and Israel's aggression. Foreign Affairs Minister Sugiono made the remarks in a speech during pro-Palestine rally in Monas on Sunday. Sugiono explained, until today, Indonesia delivered more than 4,400 tons of logistic and hundreds of billions of rupiah in humanitarian aid to Gaza. He added support to Palestine is in line with President Prabowo Subianto's policy. The minister also said that President Prabowo, since he was inaugurated on October 20, 2024, has made the issue on Palestine as priority in Indonesia's foreign agenda. According to Sugiono, President Prabowo has been voicing support for Palestine's independence at various international forums, such as ASEAN, OIC, and other multilateral forums. As Foreign Minister, Sugiono said he will continue this stance and introduce more concrete actions.
And in our next segment, UN Special Representative for Libya praises Morocco's commitment as very important partner in facilitating inter-Libyan dialogue. Meanwhile, a Japanese company being picked to build Australia's next fleet of warships. Let's take a look.
Special Representative for Libya and Head of United Nations Support Mission in Libya, or UNSMIL, Hana Serwa Teteh, on Monday in Rabat praised Morocco's commitment to facilitating dialogue between the Libyan parties. In a press statement following her meeting with Minister of Foreign Affairs, African Cooperation and Moroccan expatriates, Nasser Bourita, Teteh expressed deep appreciation to the kingdom for its efforts to advance political process in Libya, as well as for consistent support to UNSMIL. From Turkmenistan, the third UN Conference on Landlocked Developing Countries, or LLDC3, started in Awaza, Turkmenistan, welcoming world leaders and delegates for a week of high-level talks on boosting development in some of the world's most geographically disadvantaged nations. UN and Turkmen flags were raised on Sunday ahead of the conference. There are 32 landlocked developing countries worldwide, home to 600 million people. Many are also among the world's least developed countries, facing structural challenges such as high transport costs, limited market access, and vulnerability to climate shocks. From India, President of Philippines Ferdinand Marcos Jr. received a ceremonial reception at forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan, The visiting President Marcos Jr. reaffirmed the alliance and partnership the two nations share in strengthening the bond. The leader also said Indo-Pacific is the correct evolution of Asia-Pacific. President Marcos Jr. also paid his tributes to father of the nation Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat by laying a wreath. Meanwhile, on Monday, State President Luong Chuong delivered a speech at headquarters of the Arab League. The Vietnamese leader outlined key directions to deepen, stabilize, and sustainably develop the friendship and multi-phase cooperation with Egypt and other countries. State President Luong Chuong expressed honor at being the first high-ranking leader of the party and state of Vietnam to visit and deliver a speech at the headquarters of the Arab League. The Vietnamese leader affirmed the Arab League's 80-year history confirmed its role as a symbol of unity, resilience, and shared aspiration for development. Vietnam Post and Telecommunications Group, or VNPT, Monday officially put into operation the first international land-based fiber optic cable line fully owned and managed by Vietnam. The system spans more than 3,900 kilometers and directly connects VNPT's technical center in Da Nang City to international data centers. Meanwhile, South Korean military began removing loudspeakers along the border with North Korea. The Ministry of National Defense says it's a practical measure to help ease inter-Korean tensions without affecting the military readiness. Large anti-North Korea loudspeakers are being separated one by one. Two soldiers carry a single unit. Regarding the dismantlement, the Defense Ministry said it was a practical measure to help ease inter-Korean tensions without affecting the military's readiness posture. A Japanese company has been picked to build Australia's next fleet of warships, with Defense Minister Richard Marles calling it a significant moment in the relationship between the two countries. This was a contest at its final moment between two competitors, one Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, a major Japanese shipbuilder, and ThyssenKrupp Marine Systems, which is a major German shipbuilder. The government has made this decision quite a bit more rapidly than we expected. Originally, the broad expectation was that the government would make an announcement on the winning bid by the end of the year. From Istanbul, Middle Corridor train services are further strengthening Turkey's central role in the international railway network. On June 29th, an agreement was signed between Pacific Eurasia and China State Railway during the Global Transport Corridors Forum held in Istanbul. On July 9th, Middle Corridor train that had departed from China arrived at Istanbul's Halkali station. Two freight trains from China then set off for Poland and Hungary. Meanwhile, Mersin University has taken a major step toward sustainability by launching its own solar power plant. Installed under the coordination of the Ministry of Environment, Urbanization, and Climate Change, the project now supplies the university with clean energy. The first phase of the project has been completed, with the plant producing 322,655 kilowatt-hours of electricity per month. In just 3 months, the initiative has saved the university approximately 11 million Turkish lira.
And on our third segment, President Prabowo received U.S. Special Operations Command USS Com Honorary Medal, which recognizes his efforts to strengthen bilateral relations between Indonesia and United States. Meanwhile, China launched a Long March 12 carrier rocket on Monday, sending a group of internet satellites into space.
In the Congress Center of the Avaza National Tourist Zone, under the chairmanship of the national leader of the Turkmen people, chairman of the Halk Mashalti of Turkmenistan, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, an event was held dedicated to the preparation of the 7th consultative meeting of the heads of states of Central Asia. The meeting took place within the framework of the 3rd UN Conference on Landlocked Developing Countries. President Prabowo Subianto received the Honor Medal from the Chief of the United States Special Operations Command, General Brian Fenton, in a meeting at Merdeka Palace in Jakarta on Monday. General Fenton praised close relationship between the Indonesian and U.S. militaries. He said his visit represented the 70,000 personnel of the U.S. Special Operations Command and emphasized the importance of strategic partnership with Indonesia to maintain regional stability. The American general also mentioned, under President Prabowo's visionary leadership, the bilateral relations between Indonesia and U.S. have improved, strengthening the global fight against emerging threats while also promoting stability and peace in the region. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's popular program, Pariksha PE Charcha, has made history by winning the Guinness World Record for the most people registered on a citizen engagement platform in 1 month. The official certificate was presented at a ceremony held in New Delhi on Monday in the presence of Indian ministers Dharmendra Pradhan and Ashwini Vaishnaw. The record was set with 3.53 crore registration during the 8th edition of the event, which was hosted on the MyGov platform. Harvest season brings excitement to Asians. Manissa's golden Sultaniye grapes ready for the world. It's harvest time in Mansa, home to the prized Sultaniye seedless grapes, often called the gold of Manisa. Farmers begin their day at dawn, working tirelessly to bring in the crop. Sultaniye grapes consume both fresh and as raisins are exported to 186 countries. This year, exports are expected to bring in $100 million, with Russia, Ukraine, and Poland topping the list of destinations. Meanwhile, a beach cleaning robot is undergoing trial operations on a beach in Sanya City in South China's island province of Hainan, helping sanitation workers remove garbage buried deep in the sand. The intelligent track robot was developed by researchers at Shanghai Jiao Tong University Hainan Research Institute, who nicknamed it Beach Dog. The robot can recharge itself using solar power, and its battery can be replaced rapidly, enabling it to work in high temperatures and strong sunshine for a long time during peak tourism periods. From China, the rocket lifted off at 18:21 p.m. from the Hainan Commercial Spacecraft Launch Site in the southern island province of Hainan. It successfully placed the payloads, the seventh group of low-orbit internet satellite, into preset orbit. The launch marked the 587th mission of the Long March series carrier rockets, according to the launch site. From Vietnam, after a recent slowdown, durian exports to China surged again in the past 2 months, both in fresh and frozen form. This positive signal stems from strong coordination between exporters and government agencies to meet China's strict quality standards. At Kim Tan International Road, border gate number 2 in Lao Chai province, since March, about 100 to 200 tons of durian are exported daily, 5 times higher than at the beginning of the year. Meanwhile, Ankara hosts first Player Beats Art, Antique and Natural Stone Fair. Ankara opened its doors to the inaugural Prayer Beats Art, Antique and Natural Stone Fair, offering a rich cultural experience to visitors. The event brings together thousands of items, from handcrafted prayer beads and traditional artworks to rare antiques and natural stones. A specially prepared collection of prayer beads dedicated to the Century of Turkey initiative has attracted considerable attention. Rare and valuable prayer beads dating back to the Ottoman era are also on display, drawing interest from collectors and enthusiasts. This year marks the 70th anniversary of the launching of antique sailing boat Duckling, which now serves as a sea museum. The ship owner said the functions of Duckling have always adapted to the times, embodying the spirit of Hong Kong to the public. Being Hong Kong's oldest Chinese sailing boat still in existence, Duckling has been in use for 70 years, against the backdrop of commercial buildings by the Victoria Harbour. This red-sailed boat creates a scene that resembles a postcard unique to the city. From China, the Tafeng Milu National Nature Reserve in Jiangsu Province witnessed the Battle of the Milu Kings, a unique natural behavior exhibited by male Milu deers. From Aomori, Japan, the annual Aomori Nebuta Festival has kicked off in northeastern Japan. The iconic summer event features a procession of huge, illuminated floats called Nebuta that depict historic warriors. The procession began in Aomori City at around 7 p.m. on Saturday. 16 floats, about 5 meters tall, were paraded along a 3-kilometer route to the sound of drums and flutes. Dancers called Haneto leaped and shouted. Meanwhile, stunning scenery and tapestry of folk culture in China's grasslands have given rise to a wave of tourism to country's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region in the north and Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region in the west. On Sunday, visiting spectators gathered to view thrilling folk sporting events like horse racing and archery in the grassland of Chuochi County in Yulankap, Inner Mongolia. Over 300 horses galloped under the control of herders at the event. In the traditional 10-kilometer horse racing competition, 28 participants from Inner Mongolia's Hot Bauto and Yulankap completed in a 2-kilometer track, showcasing their speed and skills.
Well, that concludes our episode of this week. I'm Stephanie Silitonga. Thanks for watching and see you next time.